How did you know that UNC was the right place? Instagram stalk people, like, do it. That's what I did my essay about because it was really stressful and really scary. How do you find roommates? College is so expensive, it hurts my brain to think about. Okay, literally just sitting down to film this video has been an ordeal. I got distracted because I did my makeup for once and I couldn't stop making TikToks because I have a problem. The energy is a little frazzled, but that's okay. Hi guys, if you're new to my channel, my name is Bella and I am an incoming transfer student at UNC Chapel Hill, hence the college gear that we have on right now. I really wanted to make a video all about the transfer process, the application and choosing where to apply and all of that stuff. I've already made some videos about transferring, like why I transferred and how to know when you should and stuff, so I will link those down below so you can go watch them. But right now I just want to talk about like the whole process of transferring from one school to another school because I really wish there was a video. Before we get into the questions, I kind of want to lay the groundwork of like me and my stats a little bit so you can get a little bit of an idea what we're going with. So I think I applied to 7 schools. I was choosing between Boston University and UNC Chapel Hill. I'm an out-of-state student. I'm from Vermont, so very far away from North Carolina. I'm an incoming junior. What else? There's so many random facts. I'm transferring from a 4-year liberal arts college. I also had a 3.9 GPA at my other school. I won a couple of English awards. A little bit about me before we get started. I just really want to be honest with you guys about the process because it was really stressful and really scary, but I really think this will help if you're thinking of transferring or you're in the process of doing it right now. So I asked you guys on Instagram what you want to know about transferring. So these are all of your guys' questions. What did you write your college essay about? So I actually wrote my college transfer essay about my YouTube channel because that's something that's really important to me. It showed a lot of like personal growth for me and it was cool because I applied to a lot of like media studies programs and even some like film and TV programs at other schools, so I could kind of show, hey, like I'm already doing this stuff that I'm really passionate about through my channel. Here's that, like look, I did this, it's cool. So yep. And I honestly think that that did make me stand out because it was something like so applicable to what I wanted to study and I was already like doing it by myself, if that makes sense. So that's what I did my essay about. But I will say that the essay was a lot different than when I applied to college out of high school, because out of high school you kind of just like write one big essay and you use that for every school. But I found that like the Common App essay wasn't required by some of the transfer applications, and then some of them had different essays plus different prompts, so just keep that in mind. It's a little bit of a different process. How do you find roommates? I love this question and I'm gonna give the same answer that I did when I did, you know, applied to college out of high school, is I found my roommates through just like online and talking to people online. Definitely Instagram stalk people, like do it. We've had a bunch of like group chats for the transfer students that the administrators actually like made, and then we could all like join it, which was great. And there I would like talk to people and then I'd be like, hey, like here's my number if you want to chat, and then we would text and then we just like got to know each other better and it was so nice. I think I literally have like 4 or 5 friends and I haven't even met them at school and I love them so much already. So what made you pick UNC? I talked about this a little bit in my other video about transferring, but really just the husband school program, and also it was the campus environment that I wanted. Like, I love the location, it's so beautiful. It has a lot of like amazing campus and like school spirit, so yeah, I just love UNC. It makes my heart so happy. Apply for a program directly or do you apply for like the courses? Okay, that is a really good question. So the big thing to know if you're thinking about transferring that was really different from applying to college out of high school, in my experience anyway, was the application process. So when you're transferring, since you're already like into your college career by like at least a year or so, then you really need to apply to the program or major that you want to be in instead of just like applying to the school, if that makes sense. So when you're applying out of high school, you just like apply to the college or university, and they can kind of like pick your major after like your sophomore year or something. But when you're a transfer student, most of the applications I did, you have to apply directly to the major that you want. So you could be like have the GPA and stuff to get into the school, but if you don't get into the major that you want, then it's not going to work out, if that makes sense. Like, you have to apply to the major. How I plan to pay for college, that is such a good question, and I feel like people don't talk about financial aid that much, but I've said in my other videos, like, financial aid was one of the biggest factors in deciding where I went, because college is so expensive, it hurts my brain to think about. Financial aid was a huge thing for me, and UNC did give me really good aid, even as an out-of-state student. If I was in-state, it would have been chef's kiss, like such a good package, but I'm really happy with that, and I got good financial aid just because of my family situation at home. I don't think I got any merit scholarships, although I'm pretty sure those are available. When do you need to start your transfer application? So different from applying out of high school, and I had no idea. So usually when you apply out of high school, the timeline is kind of like you start applying in like junior year, and then you get your replies back in fall. Oh my god, I did this so long ago, my brain is going wet. If I'm saying this wrong, I will put it on the screen. But when you're doing transfer applications, every deadline is different, but they are due so much later in the year, and you're gonna get your reply way later in the school year than if you were applying out of high school. So I got all my replies back. The last one was like June 15th, which was not that long ago. So yeah, it's way later in the year than out of high school applications. What do you think stands out on an application? I already talked about, like, I wrote my essays about my YouTube channel and like that passion that I have for creating videos and stuff, so I do think that made me stand out. Obviously, annoying stuff like grades. My good GPA standing was very helpful for me, but a lot of students have that, especially if you're applying to competitive schools. In terms of like transfer specific questions and stuff, a lot of schools are going to ask you, why are you transferring? And really thinking about that question and coming up with a thoughtful answer, I think, was really helpful for me, because they don't want you to put like, oh, I didn't like my roommate, or, you know, like, I didn't like the town that my old school was in. They really want something thoughtful and substantial. So I wrote a lot about how my school didn't have the program that I wanted, and I have this like huge passion to study the subject, but I couldn't because they didn't offer that major. So doing that on your transfer specific questions is really helpful. Was it harder to apply as a transfer than as a freshman? I actually think it was easier to apply as a transfer just because I already had experience doing college applications, even though they suck and I hate it. Every time I did it, I hated it so much. But I think it was easier because I was less intimidated by it since I'd done it already, and I also gave myself so much time. Like, I worked on my applications like a little bit at a time for like a year, and I'm so grateful I did that because it wasn't overwhelming. How did you know that UNC was the right place to transfer to? So besides all the stuff like writing it, like, you know, the on paper stuff of like they had the program and the campus was really pretty, I'm so grateful because I did get to really briefly be on campus. And I always say this, but if you're trying to decide where to go to school, if there's any way you can be on campus at all, please do it. Mine, like, I didn't get a tour or anything. There were no students there because it was COVID, and obviously we want to be safe and everything, so I didn't even get to go in a building but I did get to walk around, which I'm so grateful for. And I just like stepped on campus and I couldn't stop smiling. I was so happy. I felt so excited to be there and just so like overwhelmed and happy, and that, like, I knew that was where I needed to be. And also, I think a school that really makes you feel like what you're interested in is valued, if that makes sense. Like, I haven't been at a school yet where like media and like digital creation stuff was valued as a subject. So seeing how much emphasis the school put on that, and they have a whole college dedicated to that, definitely felt like the right place for me. Did my battery just die? Yes. The next question is, did MHC, which is my old college, help you in the transfer process, or was it something you did on your own? This is just my experience, but I think it's pretty much at every school that the school you're at really isn't gonna do anything to help you with this. You know, like I had to get letters of recommendation, and my professors were really, really kind, and my advisor at Mount Holyoke wrote me a letter of recommendation, which I'm so grateful for. So that kind of stuff they helped me with. But with resources and finding scholarships and figuring out how to apply, I did that all by myself. Like I literally spent my entire summer vacation sitting outside with my laptop, like on the Common application, remembering how to fill all this stuff out. Oh, I love this. Okay. How did transferring over your credits go since you're going from private to public? So I was at a private 4-year liberal arts school, and now I'm transferring to a public 4-year university. So transferring credits is still a thing of my nightmares. It's driving me crazy, and it's one thing about the transfer process that is so annoying to me. But the thing is, every single school that you apply to is going to be completely different in terms of what credits they actually take from you and how that affects your standing and stuff. So if you guys don't know, I actually went to early college since I was 16. I have 3 entire school years worth of college credit from accredited universities. Like I literally have gone to college for 3 years since I started in high school, and I am now going to be a junior in college. So I have a lot more college credit than your average student does, which definitely helped me initially as a freshman applying to school. But UNC specifically, like just talking about them, they are insane about college credits. I did transfer enough to have like my same year standing, so I'm still gonna be a junior, but if something, God forbid, goes wrong, I'm not gonna have enough credits to graduate on time because there's just so many requirements. So yeah, I'll keep you updated. So that's all the questions you guys had about transferring. I really hoped it gave you some ideas if you're thinking about transferring or anything, and if you have specific questions, you can definitely comment them down below and I will try to get back to you, or you can DM me on Instagram or comment and I will try to answer your questions. But yeah, if you guys are thinking of transferring, definitely subscribe because you can have me test it out for you. I'm gonna be vlogging and just capturing everything of my transfer experience at UNC, and I'm so excited. So yeah, I really hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye! I guess I never